Hey everyone, welcome back to my next art book preview video. This week we have the art of Marvel Rivals. This one just arrived this morning, so we'll take a quick look at the front and the back here. This one is a hardback and it's by Dark Horse. Let's get into it. Okay, so you might notice I put this little box under the right hand side of the book. It just lifts it a little bit so that the pages don't reflect the light as much. So hopefully it doesn't distort it with a weird angle or anything. So we're starting with the contents here. Not a very big contents, and you might notice that most of the book is dedicated to characters, which I am a big fan of. So we'll get past the first section, which is just the usual sort of forward and introduction. One thing I did notice when I glanced through this, and as mentioned, I only got it through this morning, so I really have only glanced through it quickly. I may be missing this, but I didn't notice anywhere where any artists were credited. And what I mean by that is individual names. You know, each artwork, it doesn't have artist name or any information like that really. Again, maybe I just missed it because I only glanced through it, but yeah, I couldn't find any of that. And the reason I mentioned that is the reason I actually bought this book is because I am quite a big fan of the artwork by the artist Hicham Habchi. Really love his rendering style and his characters, and I know that he did a lot of the artwork for this amongst, I'm sure, many other artists as well. I'm not sure which other artists are involved, but I did think I would find out throughout this book, but evidently I'm not noticing any names. And you might be familiar with that name if you've watched any of my older videos. So this book here, which I think is just known as KHAT, if that's how you say it, is a really, really nice book. One of my favourite books of all time. And again, it's just his style as well as his rendering. That one's got a lot of his sketch work in as well. Whereas this book, as you can tell, is very much like fully coloured and rendered character concepts and more. But yeah, so that was the main reason I got this. Really pleased I did. I'm not really huge on the game, or rather I haven't played it. So yeah, it was more for the artwork than anything. I'm sure the game is good. I did download it, just haven't had time to play it. I used to play a lot of video games, but it's not something I've done recently. But I like the idea of it. So out of all the art books I do own, one sort of category that I don't have that many of, which is quite surprising, is video game art. And again, I'm a big fan of video games. I used to play tons of them. So you would think I would have a huge collection of the video game art books. But I always find that a lot of the books are dedicated to various accessories and maybe like environments and scenery and sometimes screenshots, 3D models, the video clip movie stills, you know, anything like that. And whilst that's all really good stuff, personally, I'm really big into character art, and I'm not really a huge fan of environments and scenes and stuff like that. I kind of like them, but I get bored of them pretty quick, and I don't really have that much interest in owning a book of them. So for that reason, I'm usually quite disappointed with like video game art books. So when I ordered this one, I took a bit of a gamble, and I was really hoping that there would be a lot of the book dedicated to the character art. And hopefully you can see my point here that this one absolutely is dedicated to character art. It is absolutely full of stunning rendered work. And I would say like 80% of the book or something, I'm sure it's like the first 190 pages are all character art. Obviously with that, I'm sort of including costumes and weapons. And some of them, as you might have noticed on the left, have like the, I guess it's like the sketches for the animation of whatever the moves are in game. At least I'm assuming that's what it is. You guys that play the game will probably recognise these things and be able to correct me in the comments below. So I'm always interested in finding out more information about stuff like this. So definitely leave me a comment and inform me. And there is the section, as mentioned, of like movie stills and scenery at the back, environments at the back. But it's a very small section. And to me, yeah, this is like my perfect video game art book, really, the way that it's formatted and stuff. The only downside that I am seeing is some pages, not all, but some of the sketches are a little bit too small, or the illustrations, not sketches. And I understand that's because they're trying to fit a lot of designs on. But I do think it's a real shame because the artwork is so nice. I definitely like this sort of full page one on the left that introduces the character. But yeah, as mentioned, I just wish that there was maybe even more pages so we could get some of these in like full page. I always try and show a few other books that are related in my videos, so check out in the description box below. I've got a link to the Art of Top Cow Legacy. That one is another one that sort of focuses on Maybe not necessarily superheroes, but comic book art. It's a range of styles, don't get me wrong, but it's a really nice book. So definitely check that one out. I've got absolutely tons of art books now, so yeah, links in the description box below. Some really awesome character designs in here. Obviously, these are well-known comic book characters that most of us are familiar with from Marvel. I will say, though, that there are some characters in this that I'm not familiar with. Not that I'm the biggest Marvel fan or anything like that, but I still like to think I know most of the characters. Maybe not, though. As well as the links in the description box below, by the way, I will put links to where you can buy this book. Anything you buy through any of my links just supports the channel a little bit. It just earns me a couple of pennies. So please know if you have ever bought anything through any of my links or ever plan to. It really helps the channel out, no matter how small it is. So yeah, just know that. I really appreciate it. So I've shown quite a lot of characters, especially these sort of well-known ones. We're coming up to page about 140, 150, let's say. I've skipped through quite a lot of it. I just wanted to make sure that I'd shown some of these bigger characters. But let's skip a little bit towards the end now. Can't go wrong with Venom. I think it was around about 190. Oh, there we go. So we're on to some concept art of the locations, chapter 2. So this started about 160 pages in, and we have over 200 pages. In fact, let's take a look. Yeah, around about 200 pages, 210, let's say. I'll put all the information more accurate in the description box below the video again, just in case I get anything wrong. But the thing that drew me to this, as mentioned earlier, is I really think the character rendering has quite a unique style to it, and it really appeals to me. I do think these locations are really nicely done as well, but as mentioned, you know, the downside to me is I always think that locations and like environmental concept art always has a similar look to it. Doesn't make it any less impressive, of course. It's just not my personal preference, that's all. So we're getting towards the end of the book now. I would be interested to know how many of you guys actually play the game and whether you would recommend playing it. Has it still got a very popular player base and all that? As we get to the end, I think we actually come onto a section that's like movie stills or story narrative. I think it's like clips from the game and stuff. Let's see if we can find that. Game promotion, that's what I meant. I think it includes all those things that I said though, like the prologue. Again, you guys will have to let me know. So I hope you found this video useful if you were thinking about buying the book. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out and means I can keep making more content like this. Thanks for watching, everyone.